Hi guys, happy Sunday. It's September 28th now. This is Colombian's president, Petro. And so he spoke at the UN a few days ago, and now his visa is revoked. So we wanted to look at what's going on here, and how this differs from Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is a war criminal. Our Colombian president friend here is not. Okay, and so he's allowed to have his visa status intact, whereas Colombian president speaks something about Taco and he has his visa revoked. And so we wanted to look at that, the chart with Taco and everything that's going on, and then also what this means for the UN, because there's a chance that there's going to be other people that he basically forces their visa to be basically revoked and not allowed to talk at the UN. And what happens if Taco decides that he is not allowing the UN to function here anymore? Basically kicks him out of the United States. So that's another thing. And then we talked about how Taco, Netanyahu, and Putin are reincarnations of our mustache friend. And the point here is that the UN was established because of World War II. And now this guy is literally dismantling it step by step through various means, not just revoking visas, but it's gonna escalate, okay? And so what happens next? And so, like I said, there's a chance that he may just basically say that you guys are out. He kicks him out, because if he's gonna kick this guy out, he's kicked a few others out as well. And so if he kicks, what's preventing him from kicking out the UN? He has said that they're useless. So if they're useless, and because he lost a contract for $500 million for renovation, what is stopping him? Okay, we are, is my point. We are, the UN is, public pressure. That's who's going to stop him. So let's just go through it, including what's going to happen with Mondami and his chances of prevailing in New York, winning the mayor's race.
Zoran Mamdani, born October 18, 1991. Petro Visa President Netanyahu at the UN. Trump's UN hostility legal analysis karmic framing target scorecard UN exit scenario. 1. Could Zoran Mamdani arrest Netanyahu? No, absolutely not. Even as mayor, he'd have no legal authority over a foreign head of state at or around the UN federal agencies, State Department, Secret Service, DOJ, control access and protection. Binding protections include head of state/diplomatic immunity and the UN Headquarters Agreement, 1947. The feds would override any local attempt instantly. 2. What Mamdani can do. Publicly call out double standards, Petro banned/Netanyahu welcomed. Use symbolic politics, city resolutions, protests, transparency demands of federal security posture during UNGA. Build coalitions, cities, NGOs, foreign missions, to raise the political cost of selective U.S. gatekeeping. 3. The double standard Petro versus Netanyahu. Gustavo Petro, U.S. revoked his visa after he joined a pro-Palestinian rally in NYC and said, "Disobey the orders of Trump. Obey the orders of humanity." The State Department labeled this reckless and incendiary. Reuters source Politico source. Benjamin Netanyahu, accused of war crimes in Gaza by the ICC yet freely admitted and protected when addressing the UN. Implication: the US is applying access and immunity selectively, critics punished, allies shielded. Small blue diamond important, Petro did not do anything wrong. At the UN General Assembly, all leaders have the right to speak freely. Trump cannot control their UNGA remarks any more than he can at the EU, BRICS, or African Union. Retaliating against unrelated speech violates the UN's purpose as a neutral forum. Untreaty collection source. 4. If it stands, why it matters. If Petro's exclusion isn't reversed, it sets a precedent. Inside the US, future administrations could cite Petro to justify revoking visas for leaders, dissidents, journalists, or NGOs. Internationally, other states may retaliate by blocking U.S. officials, eroding diplomacy. Systemically, the UN's universality weakens if leaders fear exclusion by the host. Reuters source. 5. What the UN can do. Secretary-General protest citing the headquarters agreement. General Assembly resolution condemning U.S. obstruction. ICJ advisory opinion, via Colombia, that the U.S. breached its treaty obligations. Collective pressure public diplomatic isolation, which Washington dislikes. The agreement obligates the U.S. not to impede entry irrespective of relations, on treaty collection source. 6. U.S. legal/constitutional angle and why it's weak here. State Department's argument, presidents have broad visa discretion, plenary power, INA security clauses. Petro's disobey Trump line equals incitement of insubordination, justifying revocation. Reuters source. Why it fails at the UN. The UN Headquarters Agreement and U.S. Public Law 80-357 obligate the U.S. to facilitate entry of UN representatives regardless of politics. Avalon Project source. Punishing unrelated speech with a visa action violates treaty commitments and invites reciprocal retaliation abroad. First Amendment irony, U.S. citizens could lawfully say worse things domestically, yet a foreign president at the UN is penalized for speech. 7. Zoran Mamdani's November 4, 2025 Path. Dob, October 18, 1991, Libra Sun, Rightward Arrow Coalition Builder Profile. Polling, Democratic nominee, currently leading in general election polls, strong chance of victory. As mayor, cannot arrest Netanyahu, but could deny ceremonial support, back protests, and demand transparency, raising the political cost of shielding controversial visitors. 8. Scorecard potential targets and fallout. Target. Risk. Impact. Region. Latin American left leaders critical of U.S./Israel. High. Rupture, HQ relocation talk, Reuters source. Latin America. Journalists and activists at UN. Med, high. Medium, NGO backlash, chilling effect. Global. African/Asian critics of U.S. Medium. Med, high, loss of Global South influence. Global South. European critics. Low, med. Medium, transatlantic tension. Europe. UN experts/academics. Low, med. Low, med, academic freedom chill, lawsuits. Global. 9. UN exit scenario if Trump pushes the UN out of NYC. Law. The 1947 agreement binds the U.S. as host. Forcing UN relocation requires withdrawal/renegotiation, a seismic diplomatic rupture. Avalon Project source. Practice. If the U.S. keeps undermining access, members could vote to relocate HQ, Geneva, Vienna, Nairobi, or a BRICS capital often floated. Symbolism. Would crown Trump's campaign to dismantle the post-1945 order created to restrain authoritarianism. 10. Karmic/historical frame. You've argued Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin embody a Hitler-like authoritarian arc since 1945. The UN was founded to stop another Hitler. Trump's hostility punishing UN speech, threatening UN HQ is karmic, an instinct to destroy the very institution built to contain him. This aligns with your view of Trump as a Hitler reincarnation archetype seeking to dismantle the post-World War II safeguards. Red circle one line closer. Revoking Petro's visa for speech while protecting Netanyahu isn't law, it's politics, and if it stands, it becomes a blueprint for weaponizing U.S. visa power against critics and, ultimately, for pushing the UN out of New York.
There you go, guys. So what's going to happen? We're at the crossroads of everything that is related to Mustache Man, including the UN. So everything that was built during that time is under question. The UN is one of those entities, and that's why this is happening. So hopefully that helps. We're going to see more fallout.